Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amaka. In this tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful jacket you're seeing on the thumbnail. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. So let's get started. This is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. This is an African print fabric, and it's actually a leftover fabric that I'm using for this project, but 1 yard of fabric can make this style for you. So now I've drawn a line already. Now this is my starting point, which is also going to serve as my shoulder line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take the neck measurement. The next thing I'm going to do is to take the neck measurement. So the neck width I'm working with 3.5 inches neck width. And now take note, my fabric is folded into two. And I have my front panel and my back panel here. And I'm going to be taking my measurement from this folded part. This part is folded, so I'm going to be taking my measurement from here. Now the neck width I'm working with is 3.5 inches. And the front neck depth, now take note, I'm cutting the front panel and the back panel together. So the front neck depth is 4.5 inches. I'm using 4.5 inches for the front neck depth. Then the back neck width is also 3.5 inches, and the back neck depth is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to connect the points just like this. And I'll connect this point. Now on this point, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. Now my shoulder measurement divided by 2 gives you 7 inches, plus half inch seam allowance gives you 7.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 7.5 inches here. And from this shoulder measurement, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant, and I'll connect it to this point. So the next thing I'm going to do now, the length of my top is going to be 16 inches. Now I'm working with my waist point. That is my vertical waist measurement. That's what I'm using as the length of this top. So my waist point is 16 inches. 16 inches plus 1 inch. Now this 1 inch, I'm going to tie it by the side. When I tie it, it's going to come up. So that's why I'm adding 1 inch, so that when I tie it, it's not going to be short. So I'm adding 1 inch plus 1.5 inches hemming allowance. I'm using 1.5 inches for my hemming allowance. So I'm going to extend the points. So I said my waist point measurement is 16 inches. Then I'm adding 1 inch. Let me call it for ease, so that when I tie it, it will not be short. Then 1.5 inches hemming allowance, and I'll connect the points. So now, this measurement, now what I have here is 7.5 inches. So this 7.5 inches I have here, I'm going to bring it down here. So I'll connect the points. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to add my shoulder seam allowance, 1/2 inch shoulder seam allowance. And that's just it with this, that's just it with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by cutting the back panel. I'll cut the back panel first before I cut the front. So after cutting the back, I'm going to separate the back from the front. So I'm removing the back panel. So I'm going to work on the front panel. Now I'm going to cut the front neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it right side facing right side. So I'll join the front panel to the back panel. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'll join the shoulder with 1/2 inch seam allowance. After joining the shoulder with 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to fold the side. I'm going to hem the side with 1 inch seam allowance. That is, I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch and I'll fold in 1/2 inch again. So I'll just fold it. I'll fold the back to the front. I'll just fold it like this, from this point to this point. That is after joining the shoulder. So the same way I'm going to do this, I'm also going to do this one. Now take note, for the back neckline, for the neckline, I'm going to use bias to turn the neckline. I'll use bias. After sewing the shoulder, I'm going to use bias to turn the neckline. So I'm going to do all these things that I just said and show you the outcome. Now this is for the belt. So now what I have here is 25 inches by 5 inches. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to fold it into two. Now when you place it on fold, you have 2.5 inches. So I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'll sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance and I'll sew it to this point. That is, I'll sew from here to this point with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to leave here open. From here, I'm going to turn it to the right side. So the same way I'm going to do this, I'm also going to do these ones. So I'm going to do the same thing to these ones. Now for the top. So I have the top here. I've hemmed the lower part and I've also hemmed the sides and I closed the shoulder. I joined the shoulder. Now for the bias, now I've sewn the bias halfway. So this is my bias. I've sewn it halfway. So now after sewing it this way, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew it like this. I'm going to fold it. Now I sewed it. I held it right side facing right side and I sewed it, and after sewing, now I'm going to turn it to the wrong side and I'm going to turn it this way. I'll fold it this way and I'll top stitch. So I'm going to do it round. And another thing I did was to notch. I had to notch so that the neck will be free. So I'm going to sew it round. So after sewing it that way and sewing this one, I'm going to show you how to attach the belt. I'm going to show you how to fix the belt. So after sewing the bias, now this is what I have. So see the right side. You see how the right side is. Okay, so that's it with the sewing of the neckline. So for the belts, I've also sewn the belt. So let me show you how to attach the belt to the jacket. Is this a jacket or top? On the hem, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches. I'll mark 1.5 inches here. and I'll mark 1.5 inches here. So now the belt, I'm going to bring the belt. I've already closed this side, so I'm going to bring the belt and I'm going to fold in 1/2 inch. So this is the belt. I'll fold in 1/2 inch and I'll place it on this 1.5 inches mark that I drew, and I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew this. I'm going to sew here and I'm going to sew here. So the same way I'm going to sew here, I'm going to sew here, I'll sew here, and I'll sew here. So I'm going to do it and show you the outcome. So this is it. Now I'm done sewing. This jacket is beautiful, very easy to make and beautiful. So that's just it with this tutorial. So I've joined you see how I joined the belt. When you turn it to the right side, you see how neat it is on the right side. So that's just it with this tutorial. I'm going to wear this, so I'm going to tie it this way. I'm going to wear it on my mannequin and show you what it looks like. If you found this tutorial helpful, please click on the like button. Share this video with your friends. Share this video in your sewing groups. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. Feel free to ask questions. I'll be in the comment section to answer all your questions. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.